Monday Night Football. The New Orleans Saints are on the road to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. My best bets are on the way. We got a couple player props. I got an anytime touchdown score. We got a parlay. And of course, I'll talk about who I think wins and covers in this game. If you are new, my name is Austin. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, we start off recapping how we did on Sunday, and it was a big day for us. 9-2 overall, going up almost 7.5 units. Now, notably on this list, we had day 4 and day 5 of the ladder challenge. We cashed last night in a sweaty one on Sunday Night Football. We will take that. Other winners, I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but we'll look at our losers. Josh Jacobs was one of them, and technically we cashed his regular straight bet over in yards. Just didn't get the 80 plus 0.25 unit sprinkle. Our only real loser was Daniel Jones under and longest completion. So really we went 9-1, if you will. But hey, a great day for us, 23-7 run. Hopefully you guys have been able to make some money with us. And if not, well, hey, start today, join the channel. Let's have a day. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and if you want to let me know who you think wins and covers in this game, you can definitely let me know down below. Let me know your favorite props. But let's dive into things. I talk about this a few times every now and then. Our DubClub, if you don't know what that is, it's where I send out all the picks early. So I send the picks out, I don't know, probably 60 to 90 minutes before I send it to everyone else, for whether that's on social media, whether it's in these videos, things like that. So the lines do often move, especially come NBA season, which starts in almost 2 weeks to tomorrow. So if you want to join, make sure you use that DubClub link. I'll put a 7-day free trial. You get access to all the plays early. You also get access to our Discord, and it was a good time sweating out the ladder yesterday. Now, I won't lie, I fell asleep before day 5 cash, but I sweat out the first one, so we'll certainly take it. Join that DubClub 7-day free trial down below. Let's dive in the picks today. We'll start with a free square for Patrick Mahomes on Underdog Fantasy. We talk about Underdog all the time because I love them. And there's cool things because, number one, they do free squares for every primetime game. It's only for new users that sign up using my code COS or the link in the description. You'll get that free square that you can throw in any little entry or parlay you want to. Additionally, they'll also match your first deposit up to $1,000. So it's like a 50% match. You deposit $50, they'll give you another $25. You deposit $100, they'll give you an extra $50, all the way up to $1,000. Pretty cool offer. Take advantage. Code COS or the link down below. I'll have an Underdog Fantasy entry at the end of this video with a couple other props I did like, and we cashed on Sunday. We're trying to go for back-to-back. Let's dive into the picks today. The first one is a player prop that I love, and it is Derek Carr, over 31.5 passing attempts, which is currently plus 105 on Fanatics, minus 102 on FanDuel was the next best odds. This line should not change from 31.5. If it does, well, they go take the 32.5, but you don't really see pass attempts lines change a ton. But I really like Derek Carr, and here's why. Now, if you look at this matchup, obviously they are underdogs here, so if they are trailing, we'll see some more pass attempts. But regardless of that, I think this is a game where they're going to have to throw it more so than run it, which running the football has been how the Saints were really successful the first 2 weeks. They still continue to run it the last 2 despite big losses, but I think this is a game we see Carr sling it around. Now, Carr so far this season is actually only over in 1 of 4 games. He had 23, 16, 25, and 36, as my chair wants to keep going down. Now, the first 2 games, let's be honest, can we just throw them out of the water? They don't really count. They won by 30 plus. You remember the Saints started off hot, smoking teams. They're up 40-0 against the Panthers, and I forget who they played in that second game, but against the Cowboys. So I don't really want to look into that. If they blow out the Chiefs, so be it. I'll take my 1 unit on the chin. But I think this is a tight game, or heck, they could be losing. I think we'll see them throw it. And if you look at this, it's not a good matchup for running the football with Alvin Kamara. So far this season, the Chiefs, I don't know what the heck I'm saying. The Chiefs allow 99 rushing yards per game. That's 7th lowest in the league. Last 3 games, 70.3 rushing yards per game. 3rd lowest. They allow actually 3.8 yards per carry, which is the 4th lowest. Now, the last 3 games, if you talk about who they played in week 1, was the Ravens. They didn't give anything to Derrick Henry, but Lamar Jackson, what did he have? Like 18 rush attempts for 118 yards or something stupid like that. Obviously, Derek Carr is probably not running the ball 18 times like Lamar Jackson. Instead, he's probably going to have to throw it a little bit more. And that goes to show you, hey, teams have to pass against the Chiefs. Number one, they got Chris Jones, who's a game wrecker. He's not Aaron Donald, who retired, but he's about as good as that because he's always just wrecking games. He's right in the middle of the field. So running up the middle, not really going to go too well. Also running on the outside, Chris Jones is going to be hounding you down. And you think about the Saints, they're down several offensive linemen, 2 or 3. Hasn't really caught up to them yet, but could it catch up to them this week? I say yes, and I think we're going to have to see them lean on Derek Carr and throwing the ball, and I don't think it's a terrible matchup to throw against. The Chiefs run the second most too high coverage, so they're playing a lot of too high safeties or cornerbacks. They're playing pretty deep 65% of the time. The Chiefs are also, though, 6th in pressure rate and 3rd highest in blitz percentage. So Steve Spagnuolo, their defensive coordinator, is going to blitz, and that's not the worst thing in the world. Derek Carr's got to get the ball out of his hands, but I think that you're going to have to see him slinging around. It might not be the most efficient game. And if you talk about Derek Carr last week, as efficient as it gets, 28 of 36, 78% completion. This week, I think he's a little bit more inefficient, which is why I don't want the completions. I want the attempts. And I think that's what we see tonight. Also, Taysom Hill, their guy that they, like to put in the goal line, he's out. So I don't see them maybe on 4th and 2. Maybe they would go to Taysom Hill. Maybe it's a rollout for Derek Carr trying to get to the outside, throwing it to someone. Could happen. Or they're not able to score in the red zone. And instead of it being a 1st and 1 where you get Taysom Hill scoring a touchdown, it's now like, all right, Alvin Kamara just got stuffed. Now we got to throw it. Additional pass attempts. So far, QBs versus the Chiefs this season. Lamar hit the over despite having a ton of rushing attempts. Burrow went over. Cousins and Herbert the last 2 weeks have not gone over. Obviously, Herbert, part of a very run-heavy offense, and they were leading in that game. And then Cousins, I don't really know how to explain that one. That team couldn't convert on 3rd down prior to Thursday Night Football. Last year, Carr was over this line in 9 of 17 games, so a little bit over 50%. In the 8 games he went under, 5 of them his team won by 10 or more points. If his team's going to win by 10 or more tonight, well, sure, I'll take the L. The other 3 got injured in. So in reality, do I think the Saints win tonight by 10 or more? No. Do I think he gets injured? I sure hope not. And when he did get injured, you're not going to cash a pass attempts line if he gets injured mid-game. And so we've seen in games last year why the Saints lost and he didn't get injured. He was actually a perfect 5 for 5 hitting this over. And in those games, he had 37, 38, 40, 50, and 55 pass attempts. So some of them sweat-free. Easiest bet on the board, taking his over in pass attempts. I'm not saying the Saints don't win tonight. I'm not saying they, this is a tight game or maybe they get smoked and you get whatever. I think this is a game they have to throw the ball. And I don't necessarily love his completions because I think it's a little bit of an inefficient game. Maybe it's, Chris Jones in my face. Throw it away. We love throwaways. As long as it's not 3rd down, we need to keep the line moving. I like this over pass attempts for Derek Carr. My second play is going to be an anytime touchdown score. Now, we were this close to cashing our anytime touchdown parlay on Sunday. Najee Harris did not come through for us. Painful, but we'll get it back maybe next week with another 3-leg SGP. This one's actually my first one that's just a straight bet, taking one guy to score a touchdown, and it's Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs, anytime touchdown score, plus 145 on FanDuel. Now, I'm only playing this for a half unit. So the first play was 1 unit. This one's just a half unit. If you don't know what units are, standard bankroll management term. Let's say you love to put $10 on each of your bets. I would only put $5 on this one, $10 on Carr's over and pass attempts. I still like Kelce to get into the end zone, and at plus 145, it's still pretty good value here. I'd play it about plus 120 or so. I think every book was between these two values. Now we look at Travis Kelce. Has he scored a touchdown this year? No. He is currently 0 for 4. He doesn't have a touchdown. Has it been due to lack of him being bad? Maybe, but he's also been targeted a lot in the red zone, and it's been, I think he had a touchdown called back. He also had one that I believe they got called on a pass interference or the defender was just hugging him and he didn't have a chance to catch it. So he's had a couple opportunities, 2 red zone targets. He's going to get the ball down there. I mean, we think about their injuries. Pacheco out, and you got Rashee Rice now. He's out as well. So end of the day, they don't have a lot of pass catchers. Are you throwing it to Xavier Worthy in the red zone? That's going to be tough. He's a smaller guy. Watson, Gray, Juju. I mean, at the end of the day, if they get to 3rd and 5, 3rd and goal on the 5-yard line, who the heck do you think Mahomes is looking for? It's going to be Kelce. And while the Saints are going to be ready for that, they could be an off-script play where they just have a good connection and Mahomes is able to find Kelce somewhere in the end zone. I think they'll scheme some plays up for him. I mean, the last 3 seasons, we've seen Kelce have 9, 12, and 5 touchdowns. We all know how good he is. Does he still have the same juice that he might have had 3 years ago? No, we know that. But still in the red zone, you don't need that juice to break away from people. You just need to be able to get open, and I certainly think he can get open here. I don't love his receiving yards because I imagine the Saints play a lot of focus to him in the middle of the field. But I think in the red zone, push comes to shove, you might line him out wide, go for a slant or maybe a fade route, or you maybe see one of those patented, put him in the backfield, a little shovel pass, and there's a lot of different ways Kelce can get to the end zone. So give me his over, anytime touchdown score, whatever you want to call it on your book. Travis Kelce's getting in the end zone tonight, plus 145. Finally, we got to talk about who I think wins, covers in this game. Early on in the week, I did lean the Saints plus the points, plus 5.5. I think that's a little bit too many points to give to the Saints. The Chiefs offense, I haven't really been too scared of. I think it comes down to Derek Carr and how he plays. He's obviously played in Arrowhead before. He's been there. He kind of knows what to expect with the loud noise and everything going down. Those guys are crazy out in Arrowhead. I think he'll be ready to go. And obviously, I like his pass attempts. I don't think the Saints win this one. I think the Chiefs probably win. But I think the Saints can keep this one close. They can keep it within 5.5 points. And I think even if they're down like 10, I think Derek Carr can lead that touchdown drive at the end of the game to backdoor cover if that's what it comes down to. So do lean the Saints plus the points. If you want to know what Logan leans, he actually likes the Chiefs minus the points. So I think that's kind of shows, hey, we're kind of on, this is a tough game to read. It is a Monday Night Football. So take what with a grain of salt. I do lean the Saints. I'm not going to track towards my record. Don't have a ton of faith in that, but I do think that comes through. Finally, we wrap up with an underdog fantasy entry. This is going to include a couple other plays that I looked at. I don't personally like to force 3 to 4 props into one singular game. I just think that's just a good way to deplete your bankroll because if either team goes up by 40, you're screwed, and then you're going to be down like 4 or 5 units. Instead, I normally at most risk 2.5 units, which is what we'll do in this game. We'll have 1 unit on Derek Carr, half unit on Travis Kelce touchdown, and then a 1 unit on the ladder challenge, which we should cook up one for day 6 here a little bit and a little bit. But like I said, Mahomes free square, use our code COS. You'll get that Mahomes free square from to get 1 yard and a match on your first deposit up to $1,000. Enough yapping. Here's my parlay on the screen. You already see it, my entry. Alvin Kamara is lower than 79.5. I know that's not his regular line. That's an alt line. That's a cool thing about Underdog. You can take some alt lines. What you'll see me do down below is Xavier Worthy, higher than 29.5 receiving yards. I don't know if he gets the 42.5 he has right now, but I think he does get 30 receiving yards. And then Derek Carr pass attempts and Travis Kelce touchdown. I think that $20 turned into 80 something. I don't remember off the top of my head. I forgot to write it in my notes, but hey, we'll take a stab at that one. But those are my favorite picks for Monday Night Football. Hopefully you guys have been making some money with us in these games, and hopefully if you haven't, well, hey, join now. We'll hopefully dominate the card tonight. So a reminder of my picks: Derek Carr over in pass attempts, Travis Kelce anytime touchdown, and day 6 of the ladder challenge for 1 unit. We'll have that live later on today, and once it is live, I will link it over here, or maybe over here. I don't know. It'll be on the screen once it is live. You guys have a great Monday Night Football. Let's turn that 9-2 run into a 12-2 run and end week 5 very strong. And of course, if you want to join the DubClub, I'll put the link down below in the description. 7-day free trial. Get in there. See if you like it. If you don't, you could cancel auto renewal. I don't want you to be in something or pay for something that you don't enjoy. So definitely check it out. 7-day free trial. Test it out for the next week. If you don't like it, you can leave. Don't hurt my feelings, but you can leave and I will understand. Let's have a great Monday Night Football. Again, day 6 of the ladder challenge posted in a little bit. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys back in the next one. Peace.